I'm not going to do it. It's stupid. Okay. Hi. Tonight, a certain flat Earth scientist is going to try and persuade us that the International Space Station just might be the ancient goddess, ISIS.
Roll VT.
This is Arcturus, and some will say this is out of focus. We'll go over that later in the video. But for now, I want to present the case that the ISS is not new. It's not the first time around. And it's what I think either the Babylonians or the Vedics called the Wanderer Isis.
Oh, come on, Brian. You cannot be serious.
And it's been around, and it spread internationally, like the International Space Station.
Mr. Leakey, I don't wish to be churlish, but one does feel a churl coming on. The ISS is not called the International Space Station because it's spread internationally. It's called the International Space Station because it was an international effort with many countries taking part.
Of all the ancient Egyptian goddesses, Isis's cult was the most widespread and the longest lasting. Such was her popularity that it far exceeded the boundaries of the Egyptian Empire. She was revered by both Greeks and Romans, and her influence reached all the way to Britain, where there are, purportedly, bridges adorned with her image along the River Thames.
Brian, your little clip of film there was entitled Mythology. It's no different. ISIS is no different than, say, Loki, the Norse god.
The ISS appears as a fast-moving star crossing the sky from west to east. You can distinguish it from a plane because it's not blinking.
So with that big-ass telescope, this is what we get. It's definitely something so small and fast it's hard to video.
Yep, the ISS is about 108 metres long. It's over 400 kilometres up, travelling at about 17,100 miles per hour. So yeah, it's small and it's fast. Well done, Brian.
There's a temple to Isis in Athens. In Athens, right? Of all places. And they just couldn't kill this Isis cult. Well, this continues on into Rome, and I'm almost done here.
So he says they just couldn't kill the religious cult. It's like the religion of science nowadays, and how the people defend the ISS like they're in a cult.
Do you mean the religion of science that enables us to feed the world, Brian? The religion of science that enables us to develop power? Do you mean the religion of science that created the camera that you're using, the internet that you're using to spread your learnings to people around the world? That religion of science, Brian? Because I am wondering, whatever your religion is, what has it brought us?
Rome was a lot like us today. It's like you can pretty much believe anything and do anything, become a follower of ISIS.
Or, dare I say it, a follower of the flat earth, perchance.
And ISIS becomes an emblem of science. And so science and esoterica, yeah, they're similar structurally.
So it's a symbol of science that rivals Christianity. Sound familiar? Like the ISS today, which in my opinion promotes atheism.
The ISS promotes atheism. Well, that's a new one on me, Brian. The ISS is just a scientific endeavour. The ISS doesn't care about God, existing or not existing. It's there to conduct experiments, to learn about the universe around us. Good that, isn't it?
Belong to ISIS. And you can trace that right back to the ISIS cult. Whether it's in Egypt, because remember she was a magician there, or Rome, or the Middle Ages with the Masons.
So it continues right on through till today with the ISS. And I don't think it's that big of a jump to claim the ISS could be natural.
Yes, Brian, it is a jump, a hell of a jump. It's a bigger jump than when Mr. Bouncy Kangaroo McJumpface stuck springs on his feet and a rocket up his arse.
This is Saturn. Look at that. Now, you've seen Arcturus. This is the ISS transiting Jupiter, and that's a hell of a telescope to even capture that.
Yes, Brian, and how did he capture such a wonderful image? He captured it because he knew exactly where the ISS would be at an exact time, because its orbit is known and calculated around a spherical Earth.
And this is Arcturus, and that looks like the ISS, and they would claim that's out of focus.
Yes, Brian, because that is out of focus.
But they would claim that this is in focus here. That's in focus? That glared out bullshit? No.
No, Brian, nobody would claim that blurry mess is an in-focus image of Arcturus. That is some zoomed in digital mess. This is an in-focus image of Arcturus. A little bit different, isn't it?
I say that this is what's in focus.
Well, let me hazard a guess, Brian, that at this point nobody gives a monkeys what you say.
They try to tell us to learn how to focus, but we're focusing in fine on Jupiter and the little moons, the little polka dot moons of Jupiter. We're focusing in fine on Saturn, but we're all misfocusing exactly the same when it comes to Arcturus or other stars. We're getting the same frequency, so we're all out of focus exactly alike. I don't buy it.
Unfortunately, Brian, what flat earthers do tend to buy are Nikon,
or Nikon to our American friends,
P900 and P1000 cameras, and then totally fail to use them properly.
This is how they depicted ISIS with their wings spread. It looks like ISS. If that's not ISS symbolism, I don't know what is.
Well, slap my arse and call me Shirley. I guess I'm convinced. What about you?
I don't know, but I do know I like fluffy kittens. And whiskey.
So if the ISS is a natural body, and I'm right, and I don't think it's that big of a stretch, they'll have to keep backing up to decommission it. Like it was supposed to be decommissioned, I believe, in 2024 or close to that, and they've backed it up to 2031. And they're stuck with it. If it's natural, then they can't decommission it. And I think time will tell. So between now and 2031, they'll have to back it up again or depopularize it. We'll see.
No, Brian, we know that it's real. Isn't it strange it was never ever seen before the 20th of November 1998 when they launched the first section of the ISS? And since then, it has been seen multiple times every single day as predicted, in the location predicted and at the time predicted. I had a look myself. I found via a website called Heavens Above that the ISS was going to pass over on the 27th of March 2020. It was going to be ideal viewing conditions. Have a look at this chart, as the ISS will be starting just a few degrees above the horizon and going vertical. But what's this? Just by chance tonight, the predicted path for the ISS is going to pass just to the right of the Moon and then just to the left of Venus. Perfect markers to enable us to spot the ISS. Well, it's the 27th of March, 7 p.m. You might just be able to hear the clock going. Let's just stop the village clock. That's the Moon, and directly above it is Venus. As I said, it's 7 o'clock now, and in about 38 minutes the ISS is going to rise, and it's going to be going virtually vertical past the Moon and past Venus. Well, we just popped in for a few minutes to stay warm, and I just thought I'd pull up some tracking of where the ISS is right now, and it's currently mid-Atlantic, heading over. Here's our terminator line. We're just into early evening here. So ISS currently is in daylight over the Atlantic, and it'll soon be passing the terminator line and across the southern UK and on to Europe. So it's quite exciting to see where it is right now. And as it says, its orbital speed right now is 4.764 miles per second, which is 1,151 miles at an altitude 261 miles. And the current time is 19:35 UTC. It should appear for us at 19:40 and a few seconds, so not long. But it should be in the next few seconds. It'll be right down at horizon level, so we're probably also not going to see it until it's a bit higher, but we're keeping an eye out for it now. Still looking out for it. So it should go vertical. I can't see it, can you?
I can, yep. Down from the Moon and to the right slightly, it's going up.
Oh yes. I don't know if it's going to show up on my... There it is. I've got it on my camera as well. Oh.
Yep, got it on mine now.
Yeah. Just approaching the Moon. Got a flicker as it went past some branches. But that is the ISS going past the Moon now. and it's headed up towards Venus. Fabulous. On an ordinary Samsung Galaxy phone. So all these idiot flat earthers that think it's a balloon or whatever, how could that have been predicted weeks in advance to within a few seconds? And it's approaching Venus now. It's getting brighter. I think it reaches maximum magnitude of minus 3.8 in a couple minutes time. But this is perfect conditions, having the moon and Venus to be markers for it. Nothing fancy. You can see it with a naked eye, see it with a phone. Oh, my autofocus, so keep screwing up because of Venus. But we got my daughter's footage as well, so at various points I'll cut between the two. Amazing. So I guess, Brian, that you're not going to be too impressed. What I did with a Samsung Galaxy S9 and my daughter's Sony A6500 camera. So how about this? This is a solar transit of the ISS using a Nikon P1000. Did you see it? Here we are again at 1/5 speed. Let's zoom in a bit. 4x scale. Let's zoom in to the best frame from his filming. Oh dear, for some reason that looks exactly like the ISS looks, and nothing natural at all.
So if these people would quit defending NASA and all this ISS fakery, we've showed them it's so obvious that whatever they do have up there, that ain't it. But if they would quit defending them and join us, we could possibly get disclosure on what they do have up there. I'm sure it's awesome enough in itself. You know, who knows? We'll never know unless enough people get on board with the obvious BS they're showing us.
You just don't get it, do you? You don't.